Alex Newman here. We are at the Red Pill Expo, and we have George Gammon with us. He's one of the speakers. He's going to be speaking in just a moment about the Great Reset, which we've covered extensively at the magazine. This man knows his stuff. George, tell us a little bit about the Great Reset. What is it in kind of a nutshell? I know it's a huge topic, but condensed, what is the Great Reset for dummies?
Well, the World Economic Forum has an agenda. And when I say agenda and I say the Great Reset and all these words that sound like I'm being hyperbolic, those are their words, not mine. I'm not creating something to sound sensational. And it's this agenda where they see what we're dealing with COVID as an opportunity to reset the global economy and the monetary system in a way that they see fit. So on the surface, it's all about green energy, it's all about equality, and I might add, they're not shy about using the term equality of outcome instead of equality of opportunity. And so whenever you try to build an economy that achieves equality of outcome, you're going to get everyone just being equally poor.
Yeah.
Right? We saw that with communism, we see it with socialism. It's pretty much that's what's going to happen. So when you combine that with a green energy initiative and just more, banning cash and just controlling the internet and just monitoring our progress. And I'm not in favor or not against green energy. It is what it is. But the bottom line is if we just went to wind and solar tomorrow and eliminated fossil fuels, that's going to destroy the world economy. You can't just do that overnight, and this is what they want to try to achieve. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, why? Why is this? And you could come up with all these reasons that they're malicious or they want to reduce the global population, and that may be true, but just kind of thinking it through from a standpoint of people are going to try to pursue their own self-interest and the interest of their family, and that these global elites and politicians, in my opinion, got there because they don't have a moral compass. I mean, if you ask yourself what it takes to become a good politician, you have to be a fantastic liar, and you have to have no ethical standards whatsoever. You don't have any belief system. It's just, you just go with the wind. Whatever you say that you think is going to buy you the most votes, that's exactly what you do. So these people, if you're coming at it from that perspective, then they're going to want to do anything that will further their own self-interest. So how does this Great Reset do that? Well, it's going to destroy the economy. Okay, well, how does that benefit them? That takes us to the Cantillon effect, because I believe they see what's going on with the central banks. If you go back to 2008, or you look at what's happening today at 2020, and they know that if the economy goes down, the amount of money printing, the central banks go up. It's just, this relationship. And they know that if the Cantillon effect works, which I think it does, and I think that's pretty standard, and that is that if the central banks are creating money, or the government is spending money, the people closest to that, the cronies, the insiders, the financial insiders and the political insiders, they're going to get the money first. And they're going to be able to buy those assets, those stocks, those bonds, before the average Joe does. So regardless of whether it's asset prices or if it's consumer price inflation, they can spend that money, they get the purchasing power. Then by the time that gets to the average Joe, if it ever does, inflation, whether it's groceries or assets, have gone up so much that their purchasing power is actually lower than it was prior to the money being printed. Right.
So how do we resist this, George? I agree with your assessment of where this is going and what's coming. How would an average American, trying to preserve the little bit of wealth that they've been able to accumulate, what do they do about this?
Well, I think you've got to own some precious metals. And I'm not someone that believes that you should have 100% of your portfolio in gold. But you've got to look at what's going on from a reality standpoint and know that you can maintain some of your purchasing power by owning a store of value that we've had for the last 5,000 years. That's proven. That's first and foremost. Secondly, a lot of people have mortgages, and I would suggest that they go out and make sure that they have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be benefiting by inflation going up. So they're going to be destroying supply of goods and services and money printing. So that equals stagflation, very similar to what we had in the 1970s. I'm not predicting it for tomorrow, but in the future, 5 years, 10 years, that's what we get. So if you have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at, let's say, 2% interest, and they're running inflation at 10%, the delta, so the 8%, would be a transfer of wealth from the bank to you. So you'd be making money because you're paying it back with cheaper dollars. So I think those are the two easiest things that people can do. Additionally, they have to be educated. They have to know what's going on. They have to come to conferences like the Red Pill Expo and really realize how the monetary system works and what all these cross currents are, so they can be prepared. I always say you have to be educated, you have to be prepared, or you're going to be a victim.
Yeah, very good. And George, where can people learn more about you? Do you got a website, a YouTube channel? Where can people learn more about you and your work?
Yeah, they can just Google my name. It's George Gammon, Gammon. My YouTube channel will pop up, my Twitter, my website, all that stuff.
Excellent. George, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.